both of them. And joining me now is UFC light heavyweight Devin Clark, who is about a week away from his UFC 250 bout with Alonzo Menifield on June 6th. How are you, Devin?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks for taking the time. And, it seems like things are, starting to get back to normal with, this whole like COVID-19 pandemic. At least people are trying to. But
Yeah.
it's still been a crazy time. What's been the last 3 months? What's that been like for you?
A little hectic, a little scary, and exciting all at the same time. I was scheduled to fight May 2nd, and that got canceled. It was maybe 2 or 3 weeks out, something like that. And after that, it was just I got a little sick, had a respiratory infection, so had to get over that. They wanted me to fight May 16th, the same fight against Alonzo Menifield, and I couldn't take it because of my respiratory infection, so we scheduled for June. And just trying to stay in shape the whole time, and couldn't do a whole lot of skill work. The MMA gym back home was closed, but my personal trainer, his gym was still open, so I made sure I did my strength conditioning and bag work, stuff like that at home, whatever I could do to stay ready. At the end of the day, we're fighters, so we're gonna be ready no matter what. Yeah. So it's definitely been hectic.
Yeah, for sure. And like you talk about like all those obstacles you had to, overcome. How do you feel physically, a week away from the fight?
Oh, I feel great. I feel like it's super weird. And I'm a situational type guy. So in a situation like this, chaotic situation, I usually tend to be better off. So I'm probably in some of the best shape I've been in going into a fight, even even over like a 6 to 8 week camp. I'm super healthy, super in shape, and on point.
Yeah. And also too, just like, I think you just brought up a great point too, is like, I feel like fighters in general are just very situational athletes,
Yep.
like, you don't always know what's going to happen, when you are competing. And do you think that's why you guys have kind of been able to bounce back and have these events and still, I mean, even if you watch these events, I mean, it's still a very high level.
Oh yeah, I think the past events have been some of the best events been put on in
Yeah.
the recent years. Just because fighters have had shorter camps, so they're fighting with more heart, more passion, and it makes it more of a raw fight, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And most fighters are the type of guys that will run towards a fire, and that's kind of the situation right now. It's a scary deal, leaving your family, going and possibly exposing yourself to COVID for training purposes and stuff like that, or even just going to the fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a situation, and for me anyways, and probably most fighters feel the same way. It's just as that much exciting too, because of the danger aspect of it.
Yeah. Do you feel more comfortable competing now too that, there's been 3 events and really only one bout was scrapped because of a positive test?
Yeah, I suppose it makes me feel better. I'm happy about the fact that all the fighters have gone through, and corners, there's only been one case of COVID. So that shows, that proves that healthy people are getting through this. So improving that, being healthy and stress free, working out, staying in shape is a very important thing at this time with the COVID.
Yeah. And I know you have a daughter too. So what's homeschooling been like?
That was fun. And that was during when I was pretty much quarantined, and my wife, she's a realtor, and she worked through the whole thing, so
Mhm.
she was working every day. uh but it was kind of nice to be a stay-at-home dad for a while and take care of that, but definitely something new for me, and pretty challenging to try to teach a 6-year-old. I have so much newfound respect for teachers,
Yeah.
especially in kindergarten, first grade.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing when a kid's trying to learn and figure it out, and they're frustrated, and then you get frustrated because they can't figure it out. Uh, so yeah, I definitely learned some new stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like you're hearing that so much now too. Everyone's saying they have more respect for teachers and people in the
Yeah,
education field because of this, which is, it's funny.
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, you talked a little bit about how the fight was kind of scrapped for May, and then it got pushed back a little bit. Was it always Alonzo Menifield during this process, or were there some other names kind of thrown around during that?
Yeah, it was just him. We really liked the fight, so it's such a good fight to make. You got two powerful guys, athletic guys. There's going to be fireworks. So, and I feel like it's a good fight for me. Uh, I know he feels like it's a good fight for him. I fought his teammate Ryan Spann, ended up losing to him. So I know they feel like they have an upper hand here and
Mm-hmm.
have me figured out. So yeah, it's gonna be a really good fight.
Yeah. And there's obviously like right now too the way the situation is all the fights are kind of coming together like really quick and really fast and a lot of short notice bouts. But for you, does this really feel like a short notice bout for you because you kind of had his name already kind of on that radar?
I suppose not really. I've had a shorter camp, so it's been a 3-week camp, but it's been a hard 3-week camp, and like I said, it's been one of my best camps so far. Probably because there's less um, group things going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a lot of one-on-one stuff and focusing on my skill work, and dialing in the little things that really matter that I've been missing over the last couple fights.
Yeah. And you said earlier too that you guys really like this fight with Alonzo. Why is this a good fight for you?
Well, I like the aspect that he's a big, powerful guy and likes to knock people out in the first
Mm-hmm.
round. I'm I've been in my stats. I've been really good at dealing with guys like that, and uh, so yeah. I mean that's one of the main reasons, and just the whole. Yeah, it's an exciting fight. You got two big, powerful guys, and somebody's probably gonna get knocked out. So uh, it's a good fight for me style wise as well. Me being a wrestler, him being more of a striker. He's got good wrestling defense and stuff like that, but it's also a challenge for me.
Yeah. And now he is unbeaten, and no one's really been able to figure him out yet. But I know on at least in the UFC too, you've handed three guys their first UFC loss too. I mean, does this fight pose any like new challenges for you, or does it feel similar in a way?
It's super similar. His skill set is a super similar skill set. There's a lot of people that can knock people out in
Mm-hmm.
the first round. I've dealt with them quite a bit in the past, and I've beat the shit out of them. So I'm happy with it. And I use my skill set, which is being able to grind people out and break them, especially guys like this that haven't been out of the first round very much. He doesn't know what that third round feels like with Devin Clark on top of him, uh, going on 10, 15 minutes. It's exhausting, and usually they want out. So
Yeah.
I will make him experience that for the first time, and it will help him grow as a fighter as well.
Yeah, and now obviously you're fighting a little later than you expected, and you're coming off a win over Daquan Townsend back in February, and kind of was eyeing that May return. But how important was it to kind of keep that momentum going by getting back in the cage quickly?
It is what it is. Timing's always stuff's always going to come up, and you might not fight when you want to. I'm used to fighting twice a year anyway, so I'm used to that much time in between fights, and it's probably already, it's June or it's May. It'll be June when I fight, and that's a pretty quick turnaround for me anyway. So if I get 3 fights in this year, that's a pretty good year for me.
Yeah, and now I think it's been since April 2017 since you were able to string two wins together too. How do you get that done this upcoming Saturday?
Use my abilities. That's my wrestling, my pressure, uh, and actually taking the fight to him, and be in the fight. When I fought his teammate Ryan Spann, I think I played into his skill set a little too much and not mine. So we'll see where this fight goes. I have plenty of options here of where I can take the fight.
Yeah. Is there any like added like excitement to a fight when you are fighting someone who you fought their teammates? So it's almost like, and especially like if you lost their teammate, here's a chance to kind of show them like look how I've evolved and and now beat like one of your guys. Is there any added like bonus to that?
Absolutely, I owe him one for sure. I shouldn't have lost that night. I'm a better fighter than Ryan Spann, and like I said, I played into his game plan. So yeah, I definitely owe that team one. Uh, beat this guy, so definitely
Yeah.
got to beat this guy.
Is that a fight you would like to run back eventually against Van?
Yeah, it really wouldn't matter. Yeah, he. I don't know if he'll take it or not, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would run it back in a heartbeat. I know my potential. I know what I can do. I didn't do it that night, so
Yeah. And also, too, just one last question about as far as the upcoming fight is, what like obviously the process of training and everything has been different, but what was it like, kind of like not knowing the location and like so much stuff like up in the air?
this would be my 10th fight with the UFC, and like I said, you never know what's gonna happen. I even with my last fight, it was 2 weeks notice, change of opponent. That's happened a few times for me. Even I got to Russia and there was no fight the night before the fight. It's I've 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 been trained to deal with that
Mm-hmm.
and take all the emotion out of it. At the end of the day, I have a job to do, and that's what I'm going to do, no matter when, where, who. And a lot of fighters say that, but actually being able to do that is a different thing. And just being around it so much and having to deal with it over the years, I'm accustomed to it now, and it, it's just another thing.
Yeah. Does a situation like this cater to you? Do you feel like?
Yeah, I thrive in chaos for sure, and unknowing and scary situations. It's usually when I step up. It's just my character as a person, especially when I'm fighting a big, scary looking dude that a lot of people are scared of. Uh, it's it's just one of those things you want to run towards the danger. And this situation, that's what I'm about.
Yeah. And obviously, like the pandemic's been, stealing the headlines. But before we start recording, you did bring up, kind of the George Floyd incident, everything going on in Minneapolis, and the protests that are following that. What do you make of all this?
It's a super confusing situation. Definitely sad, definitely wrong, shouldn't have happened. And there's so many people that don't understand why. And it was such a good, the video material of it was so good that there was no question of whether it was right or wrong. It was definitely wrong. They definitely murdered him. So, but people seeing that, being able to see that good of a video for the first time, more people responded to it. But this stuff happens every day, especially
Mm-hmm.
to minorities. Um, People are looked at differently, whether people like to think it or not. And it's just kind of over the years, it's going to get better. It's definitely going to get better. It has to get better. And it has gotten better since, the civil rights movements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's something that's kind of ingrained in the system of judging another person, or in the back of their mind, uh, you you think of them a certain way, even if you're all right with them, even if you're not racist at all. When it comes down to it, in certain situations, people will look at people differently because of who they are, where they're from, what they look like. It's just it's a bit human nature, and it's been in our system so long that it's ingrained.
Yeah. And one of the last things too is just like how frustrating is it? Because like you allude to it right in the beginning of your statement there, like it's taking something like this and a video that is so clear of like what's happening to. It seems like more people are kind of understanding like the whole situation now too. And like, is that frustrating though? That it has to be like something like this, almost like a good video and that kind of thing to bring this to light.
It is frustrating because it's something that's been happening for a long time. And the also frustrating thing is uh, the people reacting to it, the rooting, or the rioting, the looting, all that. It kind of it's taken us back. We definitely have to. We needed a different approach to it. I understand, and they burned down a police station. I was kind of happy about it. It proved a point. People are pissed off. People are
Yeah.
really pissed off, and it proved a point. And the peaceful stuff has not been helping. But I still feel like continuing the rioting and the looting is not going to help. It's not going to help any situations, because someone that already has something against you, they're going to be like, "Oh, I told you so." You see how they're acting now. So it definitely, it gives it gives the other side, the negative people, it gives them a point, and an excuse to look down on minorities.
Man. And before I let you go, Devin, and I appreciate your time, anything before I let you go that you want to say?
Just going along with that is, I like to preach peace and love, and hopefully everybody can get along and just be nice to each other. Try to do something kind for somebody, and swallow your own pride for a second, and think about how somebody else may feel, even if you don't agree with the actions of that people are taking. Understand how they could be that mad to do stuff that they are doing right now. It is a situation. It's a very confusing situation, and I'm on both sides. I'm mixed. I'm black and white, so I've seen both sides. So both sides of the track, both sides of the racism, the right and wrong. So it's just take a moment, whoever you are, and think about how someone else might feel in this situation.
Yeah. All right, Devin. Well, I appreciate your time, and I wish you the best June 6th.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care, Devin.